positions. They should be treated as such. The Bears are back, baby!
Hello and welcome back to i75Live, episode 55. We are going to get right into it because we are going to recap. We got a lot of recap about the NFL week. I don't think we're going to touch college too much. College was kind of a boring week.
It was a bad week for college football.
Yeah, it was a
really bad week.
They play a bunch of cupcakes.
Michigan lost.
Florida lost. Michigan lost. The Florida
upsets.
game was a little surprising, especially after you kind of saying, hey, DJ Lagwell is the one guy.
I know. Dude,
So
at the buzzer, too. Last minute field goal.
But yeah, and now Florida goes into LSU. That is on our pick'em this week. Because if you noticed, we are throwing in the big noon Fox game and the college. You were wrong on that, by the way. It's
is
the
it
LSU
not at Tennessee?
Florida. Yeah, Florida LSU.
I thought they were in Tallahassee.
College. Yeah, I did too.
Tallahassee.
And then in Tennessee, yes. And then I had to double check. But yeah, no, Florida and LSU. That's going to be either.
That's cool.
I have a feeling Florida was kind of looking ahead to that game, and then all of a sudden they caught themselves and they were like, oh, crap, we're losing.
And now USF is ranked.
Yes. So that happened. But other than that, I think college football, it was just kind of one of those weeks to where...
Clemson almost lost to Troy. They were down like 16-0 in the third.
Klubnik has not played very good to what he was expected with all the experience and with the team that he has.
Yeah.
That's been a little disappointing so far. But yeah, college football, it was just one of those weeks. NFL, though, week one, I'm going to go straight into it. First game, Thursday night, Chargers, Chiefs.
This was a Friday game.
You know, what's funny is I don't know how much you watch this, Dad, but I heard a lot of people saying that because this was on, YouTube TV.
Yeah, the YouTube stream.
And all the, destroying and all these people, like the Mr. Beast thing. Like, people, I saw Chris Long talking about it to where he was like, I'm old. Yep. Like, they're making me watch these people, like
you
Mr.
have no
Beast.
Clue who any of those
Mr.
people
Beast
are.
shooting people through a makeshift field goal out of a giant cannon, and you just want to be like, in a way,
though, it was.
What am I watching?
It was kind of cringe.
There was a little bit, yes.
Like, especially the cannon thing that happened, and then some of the other things.
But
that they
did it make you feel old?
I did feel pretty old, but I also felt like, what's the NFL doing?
Trying to grow the game.
First of all, I was bothered by how hard it was to find the game at first because I have YouTube TV. It wasn't on YouTube TV.
Yeah,
it was on YouTube.
Just on YouTube.
And it was like I had to Google it just to find the game.
It was free,
and that's the thing.
Yeah, it was free. It was on YouTube TV.
There was like something where all the games were on YouTube TV or something and free.
So.
I thought Jack said something about that.
College football, I think this week, for at least some of them, there were a few that were just YouTube streams
and weren't supposed to be. But
I don't remember it being the case in years past.
Yeah.
Like, that has to be new, and I'm all for it. Give me more free football.
But anyway, it was. Someone told me it was in
Knoxville.
Oh, you were wrong? Okay,
baby.
so I am wrong. It is in Knoxville, which I
It's a good
originally
game.
thought that's
Tennessee.
where it was.
Oh, yeah.
The Florida LSU game is still going to be really good because, obviously LSU and how Florida kind of played last week.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So I'll have to change that pick. But I heard a lot of people saying that, hey, what am I watching? Like, I feel very old.
Yeah.
Anyway, get to football, though.
Yeah, to the
Watching
game.
the first, I'd say 3.5 quarters, the Chiefs honestly looked no different than they did at the end of last year.
Yeah.
I know Xavier Worthy got hurt literally the first play of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of to be expected because, they didn't have Rashee Rice for most of last year anyways.
And I know Travis Kelce was still just out there.
just sandbagging.
And he had the one little...
He had a touchdown.
He did, but it was some wide open play called where all he did was run a little wheel route.
Yeah. It was a fake screen. He pretended to block.
So whatever, good for you. Yeah. But 95% of that game, he was just running around out there.
Teammates.
Yes. I thought Justin Herbert looked great.
Quentin Johnston looked great.
Yeah,
too.
for all the crap that everyone gives him for dropping balls.
Yeah.
Lad McConkey, I am so upset that the Patriots didn't draft him when we could have.
Sure, there's 31 other teams that are upset.
Well, I know,
they didn't
it's
take him
just
in the first.
we had the opportunity to take him before
took him
the
right
Chargers
after,
did.
right?
I thought
it was like a few picks after the Chargers took him. Like
yes,
you guys,
yes.
I don't even remember who
So
you guys
that
took.
to me, I just go another
Was it
receiver.
Polk?
I think so.
Oh,
actually. I think so.
Fucking, he just posted another free one on his Instagram last week.
And you're like hurt, not even on the team. Like, get off my team at this point.
Meanwhile, Keyshawn Boutte has got 100 yards.
Yeah, and Kyle Williams, our rookie, barely even played because we got no shoes. Mac Hollins running out there to where I just want to be like, get this guy out of here. Like, this is so stupid. And the only reason he's out there is because we paid him. Yeah. But anyway, enough about my team.
Justin Herbert, I think so. He showed flashes last year, but I don't think they necessarily. Last year too. Yeah, he was hurt. He was playing with the foot injury, and then they didn't necessarily have all of the pieces around him yet. But I think this year they've done a good job, even though Slater's already out for the year. Joe Alt made his debut at left tackle, and I don't think let up a single pressure. It was very dominant, especially when he was going up against, you got Chris Jones, Karlaftis on that line. But is this year that he finally puts it together? I think it could be. I think he's got Harbaugh. All he does is win, and he looked great on Friday. Yeah. But they play in a tough division and tough conference in general. So he's got a lot of competition.
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway from this game is more about how, and I know, again, Xavier Worthy getting hurt the first play, that didn't help because I know they had a big game plan for him. Mm-hmm. But to me, just the team in general did not look any different from what happened. Yeah. I mean, the right tackle was still Juwan Johnson, I think his name is. Whatever. The guy who jumps off sides every single fucking snap.
That's who it is.
I know they have a rookie left tackle who looked
pretty damn good.
Who looked good. Their center's still Simmons. Good. But to me, it just really, and I'm not just saying this because it's the Chiefs and it's easy to, they didn't look any different. They did not look any different from last year. Mahomes is still going to be Mahomes, and he showed that.
I actually heard that, so I want y'all's take, because after especially the Super Bowl, I think we need to pump the brakes on even, putting Mahomes in the Brady conversation. Realistically, I said it right after the Super Bowl happened. Mahomes has not passed Montana in terms of accolades. But, so now that, the comments that came out recently about Tom Brady agreeing that Aaron Rodgers is the most talented thrower of the football ever, I want to break down our little GOAT, debate. So I think Mahomes, when it comes down, there is nobody better than him at doing unconventional circus stuff.
Improv.
Every time, yes, something that's just out of left field. You're not expecting it to happen. It happened on Friday again, where he's falling and then just flicks it over 3 defenders. Yeah. So Mahomes, greatest unconventional, like circus player ever. I guess you could call it spotlight player, but Brady, most accomplished. Rodgers, most talented. What do you think?
I would agree with that.
I don't think it's going to change either. That's I think those 3 are the best.
I would throw Josh Allen in there when it comes to improvising.
He's closing in on Mahomes, but he needs accolades.
I said it in our group chat when he had that touchdown that just like tipped off this person and this person, and then I just want to be like, what? Like, how the fuck does this guy keep on getting away with shit like this? So, but I could throw the same thing with Mahomes, where it's just like, how does he get away with this every single week?
Well, you remember it was like his first year starting. You remember when they played the Ravens and he had like the 3rd and 20 conversion, and then like the 4th and 20 to Tyreek Hill later on. It was, and
like,
then
how do you let that happen? Like, how do you consistently do this week in and week out? It's like, I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm. You guys are so funny because you're showing your age right now.
Oh yeah, we haven't mentioned. We did not say like Steve Young,
like what about Montana?
Like
what about Marino? Like the shit Marino did on the field, you guys, was unbelievable. Well, you watched old film, Dawson. You know how great he was.
Yeah, but that's how it's what it's.
So we're not talking about the old guys now. We're talking about just the last 20 years.
It's not that we're not talking about the new guys. It's everyone. I think having it's all going to be recency of what we've seen. So yes, to you throw in all those guys because you watched them play live.
Yeah,
you watched
look at the hits that Steve Young, Montana, Marino.
No one's arguing.
Look at the hits those guys used to take. Look at what they your quarterbacks can sit back and go, just go throw the ball.
No one's arguing that.
When you watch
totally different game.
When you watch Aaron Rodgers throw the ball compared to Marino, what do you see? Who do you think is better? Like,
if you want to talk about rocket arms, there's one person that I actually think had the most amazing, like when he let the ball go, it was in the receiver's hands immediately. And it was Mike Vick. That dude, the way he threw the ball was unreal.
But even that, our generation, I mean, we're 24, 25. Our generation,
you don't remember him.
We don't remember
we didn't get
that.
to see him.
I get it.
Like, seriously.
When we were, cognizant and paying attention to football, Mike Vick was already on the Eagles.
That's right. But when you have the GOAT conversation, though, that's where I think, if you want to talk about the greatest in the last 30 years, okay, awesome. But when you talk GOAT, right? That's like looking at some of the NBA players and saying, okay, is it LeBron? Is it Jordan?
Yeah.
But there were some pretty good NBA players way before then that were around, even when I was a kid, that I don't remember.
And this is why I say, I think you can spin your argument depending on how you categorize GOAT or best of all time, of what you think the best is and what needs to... Like, you can spin it to go, yeah, it's Mahomes because of this, this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
Well, no, obviously it's Brady because he has the most Super Bowls ever, so he's obviously the best. Or, so there's so many ways to spin it and create an argument to back who you think is. Mm-hmm. But when you break it down to more I would say that's a fairly accurate list.
Yeah, I think recent lists. I would put Mahomes where you put him. I agree. Brady, absolutely. But even that,
Rodgers.
I think it's hard to argue. I mean, the greatest of all
someone
time.
could make an argument for Peyton Manning.
Marino, the way he released the ball, the accuracy that he had, again, put him in today. I know you can't do it, but put him in today's game, and oh my God,
that's why
the
I
guy
think
put
Marino
the ball
and Rodgers are pretty good comparisons.
Yeah. Yes.
I think they're very similar.
Yeah.
I think
and Rodgers proved this weekend that he's still a viable quarterback.
Perfect segue into our next game too, Steelers at Jets, who I don't think anyone thought was going to be just the shootout of the.
I looked at Dawson and I said, look at that score. Look at the points that got put up. Would anybody have bet? Like, what was the over?
What
was the over under on that? It wasn't that.
Somewhere in there.
Smashed the over. But I think Rodgers looked great. Fields looked really good. I mean, say what you want about the last drive.
I thought Fields was going to get his 300-yard game in the first week.
Yeah,
he did.
He was on a roll.
Garrett Wilson just needs to go down catching that ball, and who knows what happens afterwards. But I think both quarterbacks looked very good. I think probably just lead it with this questions. Are both teams potentially better off after swapping quarterbacks?
Yep. 100%.
I think so.
Based on week one?
I'm also very curious to see how the Steelers play their next couple games because, this could have really just been Rodgers being like kind of how he always been, the arrogant asshole that everyone thinks he is, to where I'm going to show them. And you kind of saw that with his comments after the game.
Oh, but I thought his comments after the game were some of the nicest that I've ever seen. They were very professional,
and they were very saying F you without saying F you. But at the same time, though, it was very easy to kind of have that motivation to the team that kind of just sent you off.
That's true.
So I am interested to see how they handle the next couple games that don't have this revenge, I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to show them kind of factor to it, to see what he does. If this can be okay, cool. You're taking this serious now. You're not just being oh no, screw the team that got rid of me and now, it's whatever. We're going to just
I think though, him trying to be a dick though, or the way he usually is, I think it fits better on the Steelers.
It
fits better for that town.
It does.
And it's just more of it fits that team.
I know Flynn was happy.
I'm sure Flynn's got to be happy.
Steelers fans who were not happy that Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback.
Yeah. I know, right? They're like, oh, okay, no, we kind of like him now. That was awesome.
I
bet you do.
I did though. This game was, I would say, maybe besides the Ravens Bills, was the best game, at least in the 1 and 4 o'clock windows.
It was so good.
Justin Fields, he played a lot better than I was expecting.
Made some good throws.
Him and Garrett Wilson. I know I kind of said I really don't care. They looked
their
good.
Run game too, specifically.
Breece Hall was very good compared to what he was last year, and even he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder, being like, well, you haven't gotten paid. Do you want to get paid? He's like, what?
These guys didn't draft me, and I haven't done anything.
Yeah, I haven't done anything. So I like that aspect of, and I thought he played really good. It's going to be my biggest takeaway from this game is I want to see Aaron Rodgers over the next 3 or 4 games to see if he brings that same energy to these other teams, instead of just this game, because it was the team that kind of shipped them off.
They have a Week 5 bye. I think they play Seattle next, and then they're at New England, and then they play Minnesota internationally. I don't think it's England. I think it's Ireland. But at New England. It's going to be a good game, Week 3. And then they have the bye week, Week 5.
Yeah.
So
next
very
one,
interesting.
The hometown game.
Yeah.
Threw this one in here. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm gonna say Penix looked great, especially down the stretch.
He looked awesome.
He had some really that fourth down conversion where he reached on the that was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the type of play that gets a fan base excited to go, hey, with this guy, we have a chance to win every single week. So Penix, I thought was great.
Kyle Pitts?
I thought Kyle Pitts.
He had 8 targets,
They
7
waited
catches.
a little bit longer than they probably should have, but maybe that was just the flow of the game.
Yeah.
I thought Kyle Pitts was great. Bijan was great.
You know, he only had 19
Well, yeah, but they
yards.
never.
They're rushing
the O-line.
Well,
It's the O-line.
now I saw this stat because we listened to Atlanta radio.
Yeah.
They said the past 4 or 5 games they played against Tampa, they've averaged less than 50 rushing yards.
Tampa has their D-line's
Tampa's
great.
D-line is great. Vita Vea was blowing up everything when it came to
Reddick now again, too.
So that was kind of to be expected if, looking back at the last couple times they've played the Bucs. But Bijan, they were able to get him with the ball on passing plays to in space. We saw that on that long touchdown. Seriously though, Penix I thought played great.
He did.
And
Drake
unfortunately, Drake,
bit.
he did with a shoulder. I think he's going to play. I think Moody will also be back and play this week.
Yeah,
they play Sunday night. We'll talk about it later. But no, I think what we should talk about with the Falcons is their kicking position.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous because they paid him all this money. They feel like they're tied to him. He didn't play good last year.
Nope.
In camp, they literally didn't bring in any competition to kind of challenge him.
Now they have.
Yeah. I saw that, but at the same time, you can't in the NFL. You're at home in a dome. You cannot miss that kick.
No,
you can't.
That's week 1.
Especially
Divisional matchup.
Especially after what your quarterback and what your offense did.
Yeah.
You just can't. And I'm sorry,
Well, that's your job. It's your one job. It's got to be one of the, I don't want to say easy, but if you think about jobs, it's one motion that you have to do over and over and over again. And you just have to stay dialed in on it. And he wasn't dialed in for week one.
Well, and even after the game, he left before talking to media and leaving his teammates to talk about it, to where it's just like, dude, you've sucked the past 2 years. Let's just be quite honest here. You let your team down after your rookie quarterback drove you down the field, got you in a position to tie the game, and you just kind of blow it at home. You have to make that kick.
Well, I asked Cullen about this last night. If KUTT is the only person to blame for the Falcons' loss, their play caller.
There's 70 some offensive plays. You cannot blame. They shouldn't have been in that position.
Well, Penix throwing the ball, I think over 40 times, but Bijan having 19 rushing yards. The O-line is clearly. I mean, they came into the year in. I think their starting right tackle's already out for the year. They've got a guard that's out very long. They lost their center in free agency to us. So this is, I hate to say this is kind of what you should have been fearful of, but
all that
played
aside,
a team with a really good D-line and you still had a chance to win.
Yeah, you had a chance to win with a division game, really good D-line. You had a chance to send it to overtime, and who knows what happens in overtime.
Yeah.
And your kicker missed. And I agree with you that you can't blame it all on him. That's not what I'm doing.
Nah.
I'm saying, though, your team, the rest of your team put you in a position to tie the game, to send it to overtime, and who knows what happened. You had one job. You had your responsibility within that moment of the game.
It wasn't a bad hold.
It
wasn't that somebody tipped it. It wasn't it was all him.
And then he came out and said the turf was, there was
his foot kept hitting the turf.
Yeah, and I just want to be dude.
You kicked in that stadium
you literally warmed up in that field. So to me, you had one job. Your teammates put you in a position to do your job for the team, and you failed.
Let me tell you though, the Atlanta fan base though, if they were upset maybe a little bit, they shouldn't be, because even the guys on the radio, they are stoked at what the future holds, because I think the future's bright in Atlanta. I really do. They got to throw a few pieces in there, but Penix looks like he might be the real deal.
Good.
He did not look like he'd only started a couple of games.
You know who else looks like the real deal is Emeka Ibuka.
Yes,
Bucs wide receiver.
And we were very high on him. I know Baker was very high on him.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I think
is there a chance that he wins Rookie of the Year? I think you said it before the year starts. I think he would probably be
Right now,
Who else offensive rookie of the year? Janty didn't have. I mean, Bill. My guy Bill also had like 82 rushing yards, a touchdown.
I think Ibuka. I mean, right now he 2 touchdowns, game-winning touchdown. Yeah. I know he didn't have a ton of yards, but you had your touchdowns, and that's what mattered. What were you gonna say, Jake?
I love it. Oh yeah, and the 49ers just cut Moody.
That's a great example. Yeah. As soon as because he had a bad bad
49ers
last year, and then all of a sudden he missed one kick today, and they were like, no. Yeah, screw you. We're done. That's what I sent it in our group chat.
And they still won the game. But
that's what the Falcons should have done. They should have been like, no,
kickers tend to look. Most kickers don't stay in the league for 10, 15 years. Like you would think they would, but they don't. I don't know if it's complacency or what it is the way they do their routines. But most guys, 3, 4, 5 years, they're done. Like you never hear from them again.
Well, to go to another example, the Bills, Justin or Bass goes on the IR. They pick up Matt Prater,
who's like 42.
And then all of a sudden he hits the game-winning field goal in the game we saw. So if I'm the Falcons, I'm looking at it and going, no. There's got to be some because watch. If something like this happens Sunday night, that even sucks even more because you had the opportunity to fix this.
Yeah.
So if something happens and they're in a dome, they're in Minnesota, we saw what JJ McCarthy did. It could come down to that again, as most NFL games do. It would be a real shame if all of a sudden Koo's marching out on the field to either kick the game winner or tie the game, and he misses it again, and you're the Falcons coaches.
Oh, he's fired.
GM,
if that happens, he's off the
owner,
team.
Arthur Smith, whatever,
he's
and you're going,
immediately.
We literally could have prevented this, and we did it.
Let's reminisce back to the 2018 season when the Bears had a chance to do that same thing, Mr. Cody Parkey.
And they should have.
And they didn't.
And then you ate the word. Yes.
Yep.
Well, we got to talk
would think
about
it happens a lot less than it does, with people, cutting bait when you should. But it doesn't.
Let's talk about the game of the week. Literally, maybe the game of the season.
Bills. Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be another game this good for this entire season, maybe for the rest of this decade.
It was awesome.
That was a hell of a game.
The Bills had like a 0% chance to win on like ESPN.
Yeah, it was like 99.7% that the Ravens were going to win. No, look, I think Josh Allen showed why he won the MVP last year. So everyone can shut up about all that. I also say the Ravens, for some reason, handcuffed Lamar in the fourth quarter. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, Lamar got sold again. Derrick Henry fumbled the ball the same way that Mark Andrews didn't catch it last year, the same way that Zay Flowers fumbled the year before." To me, like Jake just said,
didn't give him enough opportunities to throw the ball,
but
end the game.
All of that aside, when the comeback was happening and they were scoring, the Bills were still losing. You had the ball.
Yeah.
The Bills had 2 timeouts.
Yep.
All you had to do was get a first down.
Pass it.
The third down play that they got into a position to go for it on fourth down to end the game. I seriously don't know why you don't do that and you punt the ball. That's like punting the ball to Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers going, we'll give him the ball. We'll give him a try. My question to you.
He had Derrick Henry had like 170 yards.
My question to you though, say that's a playoff game. Let's say that was not the AFC championship, but the divisional round. Let's say it was the divisional round. Do the Ravens go for it on that fourth down, or do they give Josh Allen the ball to try to go win it?
I would really hope they go.
So to me, you're treating that as a playoff game because that's what that game was, especially the team you're playing.
This is going to be one of the teams that you're fighting for the 1 seed in the AFC for.
You go for it on that fourth down to end the game with Lamar, your best player. It was only like 4th and 4. It wasn't even. It was like 4th and 3, 4th and 4. Put the ball in Lamar Jackson's hands. He did it all night running the ball to and live with it. Yep. Live with the consequences if he makes it, and if he gets it, you look like a genius for going for it.
This was part of the script. The script came down, and they said this. Dylan said
this is crazy.
Dylan said this is the coming out year for the Bills, for Josh Allen. I mean, think about what happened. Like, it was Sunday Night Football. Dude, everybody was watching it, and they just continued this narrative that you're right. Are they built to win the AFC? I 100% think that they are. I think they're going to win the AFC. They will be in the Super Bowl this year.
And I still think, though, that the Ravens 100% have the best roster in football. We saw that. When you run the ball,
they do.
There was a stat. I know everyone's seen it. They were before this game, it was 277-0 of teams who had
250 rushing yards
40-plus points, and the lead. The Ravens made it 277-1. So the overreaction of this game, I don't think it's an overreaction to say
it's historic.
Well, that's what I mean is when something as historic happens, like when that stat alone,
that's crazy.
I mean, you can't lose that game if you're the Ravens. You just can't.
Nope.
Even if you had the Derrick Henry fumble, that's fine. Mm-hmm. You still let them score 2 more touchdowns after that in the fourth quarter. So there's no excuse.
But then you have Dylan, Mr. Bears, right? Yeah. We're back. We're winning the Super Bowl. Yeah,
there was a cut.
And literally after that game, we say this game was historic, and Dylan says, "Hold my beer. We haven't seen the Bears play yet." Like he was going to have an historic game, and you did.
Yeah,
history was made in your game as well, but not quite in the same way.
They did.
And the first half happened, and I texted you, and I said this. I said, Chris is looking like a genius for not picking Jefferson and picking Puka. And Puka had an amazing, I think he had like
11 targets, 10 catches,
so
30 yards.
I think ultimately they're both going to be right around the same. But anyway, I texted you that, and then the second half happens. You've been a huge JJ hater.
You have to eat some crow today, Chris.
But Dawson, a little bit.
Pump the brakes. What do you always tell me?
Though,
it's week 1.
I agree.
Eat the words.
I agree, but does it not have you go like, okay, all this shit that he happened,
year sitting on the bench in the NFL,
and then all of a sudden
is a big deal to be able to sit and watch and learn. And learn what's going on and learn the system.
I'm talking about the game, though.
Yes, it was pretty amazing.
Within the game, he threw a pick 6.
I just felt bad that was happening with Dylan seeing it live.
Yeah, I did too a little bit.
I'm glad I was there. And like I said before the podcast started, I have learned from last year. I know not to take one game at face value. It's a long season, 18 or 17 game season. But it sucked. That pick 6 was awesome, and I thought the game was over after it happened.
I think a lot of people did. I did too. I was
like, oh my God.
When that happened, I was like, well, they won the first game.
Said the Bears are back, baby.
All the mistakes, all the pre-penalty, they still won. Jesus. They can go back and clean it up, fix it up. But no, the Bears, and I said it to you, I think where the Bears lost that game was having -1 yards in the fourth quarter until they kind of got the garbage time stuff at the end.
Yeah.
I don't count that, honestly. I think that's where you have to, as good teams, put away teams in the fourth quarter, regardless. And we saw that with the Ravens. The Ravens couldn't do it. And what happened? Regardless of how good it was, the Bills came back and won. So the Bears, to me, that is the pre-snaps and the jumping off sides and whatever. Mm-hmm. The biggest takeaway to me is that, where you have to be able to put, and this is what the Lions were so good at, was putting away teams, scoring sometimes too many points to where it was like, you guys are still scoring points. Like
this was also, this was obviously Ben Johnson's debut, and he made mistakes. I think Caleb made mistakes. Ben Johnson made coaching mistakes. He alluded to it in the press conference, and so that's why I think we're going to be just fine, is that we finally have a team that's going to address the mistakes. They're not just going to sweep them underneath the rug and say, hey, we tried our best, but it wasn't good enough. Next week is next week. No, they're actually going to spend, I have no doubt that they're in the building right now, watching film and working on the mistakes. And Caleb he owned it at the end of the game. He said, if I think there was a 4th down in the red zone, that if he makes that pass, we score points. And there was another one coming our way in the fourth quarter. Same pass, same play. And he said it. If he makes both passes, we probably win the game. Ben Johnson, the punch out when his knee was down on the ground. He got information from the booth, or the guys up top, don't challenge. His knee was down, but he challenged anyways. And then, that was a second half.
Really? They came out.
He did. He said that. He said that. Huh. And so that's why I think we're going to be just fine. This needed to happen again, just kind of with the starters getting their asses whooped in Kansas City for the last preseason game. I think we needed to be humbled a little bit. Especially, we did it all last year, and we've done it pretty much as I've been a Bears fan. We think the game's won before the game's over.
That's what happened. It happened again.
Yeah, it happened again. But I don't think it's going to keep happening. I think we're finally a team that's going to learn from mistakes. And
I would agree with that.
I think even though we were missing our best 3 players on defense, TJ Edwards, Jalen Johnson, one of the best corners in the league, and then we were also missing Kyler Gordon, probably the best nickel in the league. And we still held them. I mean, the defense was stifling. I can only imagine what it's going to look like when everyone's healthy. But yeah, we play Detroit next week in Detroit. Yeah. So that's a game you can't lose, especially after this week.
You can't lose 2 divisions in a row. No. And kind of to go into our last 2 things going over week 1, and then we'll get into 4th and long. And next week, the Packers, though. So the Packers got kind of made fun of for, you guys don't just need one player. Why are you trading for Michael Parsons? Really, and then their defense came out, and it was like, yeah, they have a pretty good unit.
Well, this is why I have a 2-sided question, because the Packers they've got good safeties, but their corners are a weak spot. That is true. And so the pass rush is going to need to be otherworldly.
And that's how they were able to beat the Lions, because they were able to, I mean, Jared Goff had no time.
Oh, yeah. But my argument for the Lions is like, we kind of knew this. I said this before the game. They have 3 new starters on the interior, and they said it all game long. I heard them over and over on the broadcast. Oh, hey, this new O-line is really struggling today. And so that's why I think this is a 2-sided question. I mean, the Lions clearly feeling the effects of losing both coordinators, I think, and the Packers could be pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think it may be a little bit more that the Lions might not be. I mean, their win total, I heard it on air yesterday. Their win total is already down to 8.5 in Vegas. So I think that tells you all you need to know about where the Lions are headed this year.
Well, and we'll really see if the Packers were as dominant as they were against Jaden Daniels and company this Thursday night. I will say.
Well, you know what you're going to see too is, I always say statistics don't lie. Okay, look at how lucky the Chiefs got last year. Yeah, on all those one-score games. They won every coin flip, okay? Look at what the Lions did with all the injuries.
Yeah.
Their luck eventually, runs out.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing that with the Lions. They're not going to be able to overcome all these injuries and the changes.
Losing both your guys.
Yeah, the coordinators, that's going to kill them. I mean, that is really going to affect their outcome.
They have a great roster, and they'll play in competitive games, but I don't know. You saw all 4 NFC North teams play this week. Who's the worst one? Yeah. Genuinely. Yeah. They all look good.
And hey,
except for the Lions, really.
Jordan Love, though, he was great last year. Okay, he got hurt. But I mean, that guy, he's a great quarterback. And I think you're going to see this year, if he can stay healthy, I think you're going to see Green Bay have a really good season.
I do too.
Yeah.
Last question. This has been circulating, and he's already tweeted about it. Jackson Dart, I think, is going to be starting by week 4.
Yep.
That is my prediction.
I hope he is.
And you got Russell Wilson already tweeting, what did he tweet? He said something like, I don't even know, but it was some cringy bullshit that he
should not be in the league.
I don't know why.
Not even that. He should be a backup at most. But Jackson Dart is going to be starting by week 4 because Brian Dable is going to have to if he wants to keep his job.
Wants his job. Yeah.
So that is the last thing that we will talk for week 1.
I think Jackson Dart is going to be coming very, very, very soon.
Sooner than we think. Be here. Because if this goes on, I don't think Brian, he's going to be like, I drafted this guy. Let me keep my job, please. Let's see what we got.
Seriously. But
4th and long, though. Let's get into it.
Here we go. On a 4th and goal.
I don't know what he has planned this week.
4th and 21. Not the way you want to try to extend it.
I got some rage. 4th and long. I'm ready to do some raging this week. What do you
got?
Uh-oh.
So I know you guys said you didn't want to talk much about college football, but I want to bring up something that Dylan said last week. He kind of went off on this Arch Manning thing, saying pump the brakes, Heisman
happened?
Trophy. So he goes in and they play San Jose State.
Oh my God.
San Jose State.
He got his very own ESPN post.
Okay, so San Jose State, he throws for 295 yards, 4 touchdowns. He ran for 1. He had an interception. Okay, the score was 38-7. Now, so I mean, I just want to put that into perspective. Okay, I realize that a bunch of cupcakes get played.
It's so
38-7. Let me give you some of the other scores. Florida State 77-3 over East Texas. Tennessee 72-17. Oregon 69-3 Ohio State 70-0. Texas Tech 62-14. Minnesota 66-0. I think you get the point.
College football
38-7. Yeah. I mean, do we really?
That's a great point. That you saw all of those
that's what the score should have been.
Rosters, they should have won by
it's
like
what
80.
It should have been.
Oh yeah. And so he gets his own ESPN post. Show me one throw on that 8 slide reel of a guy that's not wide ass open without anyone like 5 yards within him, and the ball is still getting there late. Yeah. And there is speculation that he might be hurt and like a shoulder injury, which I think he might honestly be hurt.
Yeah, and then
with all the clips coming out, which like I'm not here to trash on someone for playing through an injury or trash on anyone in general. So I'm rooting for Archie, but it's like the media is just, they're doing it again, dude. They're doing it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's again. I know we kind of don't overreact. Don't do this. Don't do this. I think it's really we're really gonna tell when they go to play. Who's their next SEC team that they play?
They play the bottom 3 SEC teams. So remember, I brought it up last week. So yeah, keep going. I'll show you the schedule.
Yeah. So I mean,
I just think it's too early. I think at this point they're trying to manufacture a Heisman Trophy winner, and it's way too early.
It's not Archie's fault.
It's not.
That's the part that makes me mad. It's not like he did this to himself and he like put him on this pedestal. Like he's been very like open to talking about. No, like I just want to play. Like I waited my turn. I've learned. Like I just want to play. Like. So it's not like he's done this. It's the media that has done this. Yeah. And that's what sucks.
Here's the thing, though. Say he's hurt, and either he's deciding to play or Texas is, like, holding it. But, I mean, at some point you're going to be playing people that can kill you on a football field.
Well, and in college, you don't have to report injuries like the NFL does. So it's not, like, part of the rules. So you can disclose an injury the whole year if you wanted to, and then at the end of the year go, he actually was doing this.
Be careful, Texas. I'm serious. And, be careful the Manning family. But, they play UTEP next week and then Sam Houston. Then they get into SEC play. They play Florida and then Oklahoma and then Kentucky.
Let me tell you, I like Oklahoma's quarterback. And their defense is really good. So, he'll get a couple more to really warm up, and then I think the true where we can finally be like, okay, this just isn't going to be this year for this Heisman crap, is going to be Florida, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And that's where we can really kind of look at it and go, make
After that, they still play. They play Georgia and Texas A&M later, too. So it's tough. And like I said, not Archie's fault, but my God, when I saw just 8 to 10 slide post
I knew
of
that Archie
was fire
Manning
you up when
against,
I saw that.
Yeah, it's really
they
amazing.
Even play San Jose State. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. So some football programs, some football programs have forgotten that week 2 is cupcakes, right? Because Alabama football put out something like "We're back," whatever, we're here, because they beat Louisiana Monroe 73-0. And they're acting like they just beat Georgia. That was hilarious.
Football, baby.
Okay, fun story here. So the owner of the Colts, I don't want to talk about the Colts and what they did to our team this weekend.
Gordon.
Oh wait, Carly Ursay Gordon, right?
Of Chris saying that the Dolphins were going to catch a dub last week.
Yeah, I did say
more
that.
crow for
and
Chris.
I have something later to talk. We'll get to that in a minute because I'm a little bit upset. In fact, I'm really upset with the Miami Dolphins. I'm so fucking over the Miami Dolphins.
This
I am
is
over leadership.
This is your segment, Chris.
I'm over
Take
ownership. I am over the entire fucking program. Chris Greer needs to be fired. Tua, the concussion master, needs to go. He should not be on this team. McDaniel, I am tired of his crap. I'm tired of his touchy-feely bullshit that he does at the podium. This whole program needs a complete washing over. They need to be changed. So I will get to that. But the Colts kicked our ass. That's all that. They did.
Jones.
But Carly Ursay Gordon, she's wearing headsets on the sidelines, right? I think it's great. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about, what do you think she's actually learning by throwing the headsets on and paying attention to the game, unlike most owners that sit up in the suite?
So apparently, she came out, I'm sure some of people have seen it. It was a pretty big story that, obviously Jim Irsay passed over the summer and the team moved into his daughter's control. And the main one, the one who's, moved into the CEO and president role, is Carly Ursay Gordon. And she is on the sidelines wearing a headset, like listening to all of the different staff on the team talk and communicate through like the game, before the game. I have to imagine she's in the building during the week too. I love this. And she said it. She was like, it helps you make less expensive mistakes. I could not agree more. I think there's a good way to do it. And so hopefully she's doing it, the good way and not just being a micromanager. But I love it. I honestly wish our, GM or not GM, our owner didn't run it like a grocery store and ran it like that, where he actually gave a shit about the football aspect.
Yeah, I think if you care enough to kind of know what's being talked about, what's being said, and decisions.
It's your team.
The part where I kind of have a little red flag to it is, how do you know what the right decision is to be made within what's happening in a game?
Yeah.
If you're not involved in the meetings on Friday and the meetings on Saturday and the walkthroughs and everything, and if that's what you're doing, awesome, good for you.
Yeah.
That's what, that's cool that you care that much. If you're not, though, who are you to kind of question if something happens in the game and you hear it and you're like questioning that? Who are you to really like sit there and question that? In my opinion, that's part of the reason why you pay these coaches to do those things, because that's why you paid them, that's why you hired them, because you trust them to do that. And if you're just going to be a micromanager, and if something happens in the game and you're going, well, I heard you guys should have done this instead of this, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, but do you want to run the team, or do you want me to do it because that's what you paid me to do? So I think, like you said, there's a fine line. There's a way to do it. I think it's cool that she's willing to do that and wanting to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But I would want to know if she really, truly is involved in all of this, or if she's just, no, I want a headset. I want to be down there, and I want a headset, and I want to listen.
I'm curious to know her football background.
That too.
Because I guarantee you she has one, being, a child of Jim Irsay and like owner of the Colts her whole life. I would imagine she's very,
that would be my question,
very football knowledgeable.
How involved really are you, other than just throwing on a headset and listening to what they're saying? And then
I think, the sheer fact that like in her little kind of, I guess, monologue, not really, her explanation about why she does it, talking about, an example, she's an example. It's like, a lot of people watching the TV, you see a receiver and it's like, it looks like he ran the wrong route. But then you find out after the fact that it was, it was the cadence, and like the wrong receiver was tagged and the quarterback looked the wrong way. That's the play caller's fault. And I was like, that's something that the everyday person knows about anyways. And so hearing that, I have to assume that there's a little bit more to things she's incorporating. I like it.
I like it if they're doing it the right way. And she's just not making it a publicity thing. I want a headset and I'm the owner, so if something happens, hindsight's 20/20 and it's your fault, not his.
Yeah.
Well, Dawson, look at some of the companies that we work with C2. Like, look at when we go into a company and work with have a big contract and the owner is still present, where sometimes private equity comes in and there's no owner there. Look at the difference that makes in an organization. When you have that actual ownership that has the longevity and that's been there. She's been there, like you said, Dylan, the Irsay family.
Yeah,
so I think it's really interesting, and we'll see what the Colts end up doing.
It is. They look good. And I'm not shitting on it. I think it's great, and I truly do. I wish I knew more of how really truly involved she is than just throwing on a headset during a game.
Well, it's probably one of those things, honestly, where it's like the less you know, the better it is. If you're not hearing about it, that means it must be working. Yeah. It's not. No one's bringing attention to it.
Well, they did win the first game, though, so we'll see.
That's true.
We'll see
one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, we'll see after a loss.
I have a very serious question, and this is kind of tied in with a rant.
Are the Dolphins back?
And then I have a fun story to finish up with, but I've got to ask. So when can a fan become disenchanted with their team? So
After
when can a fan change their allegiance to a team? I've said this, Dawson, you've heard me say it for a few years. I get that I've been a Miami Dolphin fan forever, but why? Like, why do I have to be?
Look, this is what I
think I want to trade in. I actually think I might want to become an Atlanta Falcon fan.
No. Look,
I think I want to root for the Falcons.
This is my best advice for you. This is what I've done with the Patriots the past couple of years. Who gives a shit
Start
about
betting.
your
Okay, but
favorite
this isn't the
team?
last couple of years.
No,
This is the last couple of decades.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
this
Who
is true.
cares about
Put
your
yourself-
favorite
nope,
team?
Put yourself.
Okay, look at that
in-
banner sitting behind you right now.
This is a
Give me a
man
friggin' break.
speaking from a golden throne right
Fucking
now.
A, you got 6
Be
Super
a fan
Bowls.
of football.
It's
Who
easy for you to
cares?
say
Okay,
you've had
watch-
6
but
of
listen,
those.
but wait,
watch the good
but wait.
teams. Watch
So
your
we're-
favorite players. Watch your fantasy players.
We
doesn't
handcuffed
get
our
it, Jake.
organization
He doesn't
with a
get it.
quarterback.
He's
we
been there too
handcuffed-
many
Jake,
times before.
Jake, I mean seriously, we handcuffed our organization with a quarterback with a contract where we gave him all this money. And he's not performing. You know, if you push him over, it looked like he had a concussion in this game.
These are
it
real
looked like he
team
might have
problems,
had 2
Dawson,
concussions in
not
this
whatever
game.
you've had
and
to
so
deal
I guess
with.
so when you
Let me
when you
ask you
think
a
about it,
question.
when you move to a new city or when the franchise changes or ownership or
These are real
your
world
disillusion, like I'm
problems.
really asking, like I think I might not want to be a Miami Dolphin fan,
It's
and
not
that's
just-
and
I
maybe
don't blame you.
yeah.
He has
Yeah,
3
no
or
shit.
4 years of bad football and thinks he has it
I don't
all
know.
figured
I just
out.
think
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I understand that. Okay, I know you guys are making fun of me. I understand it.
We're not
I
making fun of
understand
you.
I'm
We're
probably not the
simply
best person
pointing
to
out the
ask.
fact that you have 6
I
Super Bowls
understand,
behind you.
and I understand that. What I'm saying is, instead
that
of getting
simple.
yourself so worked up about your favorite team and how they're not good and all this shit, enjoy instead of letting that ruin all the great football that we get every Saturday and Sunday. Enjoy that. That's my advice to you.
Here's my
I'm not
counter
taking
argument.
away my team being as good as they. I understand it's
Yeah.
easy for me to say that.
What about the Bravos? My mood has been ruined for
What?
The Braves,
Oh, the Braves, yeah. So here's my counter to that is we're chasing the feeling that feels better than nothing else. You've felt that feeling 6 times.
and that's why I'm not
So
arguing that.
We don't care
7,
about the
actually,
other
because
good
he won
football.
one in
Yeah,
Tampa.
7. We don't care about the other good football there is to
asshole.
be had and enjoyed because we want to feel the big feeling.
And I hear
you.
you.
We want the Super Bowl.
I hear you.
That's-
I completely understand. So don't. But what I'm saying, advice to you, if you want to be an Atlanta Falcon fan, be a Falcon fan. Root for them. Watch the games.
not that
enjoy
simple.
it. But I mean, you don't have to change your allegiance to be.
As I hear you say this, and I look over your shoulder, right next to your banner is my banner. I almost have as many new logos as you do trophies. Okay, our team decided to win a couple Super Bowls back in the 70s. They've changed the logo 4 freaking times, and we haven't done shit since we changed our logo. Let's go back to the original logo. Put the helmet back on the damn Dolphin.
think they
It's
should.
time. I want to go back to that
helmet back
logo,
on
and I
the
want to win
Dolphin.
some freaking games because I am sick and tired of watching the freaking Dolphins do what they
Yeah.
do on Sundays. He had all season. They had all summer to plan for this game, to game plan one game, and you didn't. Did we even score?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Achan scored one
You
time
did.
at the end of the game.
You
we got
did.
one time. It
On
was
like a
such a joke.
4th and
I'm so
15.
over the Dolphins right now. So so let's finish with a funny story. Okay, because this is actually
it.
really. I think
Dolphins.
what the fuck just happened?
I'm
Poor
so
Dolphins.
sick and tired of the Dolphins. So here's the thing. So
I'm with
funny
you.
story.
Tired of
How
the
about
Bears.
imagine you're a Browns fan.
I was gonna say, what would
Imagine
you rather
you're
be, a Browns fan or a Dolphins
right now,
fan?
and you're watching TV. You're watching your team
Browns, dude.
lose to the Bengals, and literally as soon as Fox got done with the coverage of that game, if you're local, they switched it to the Falcons-Bucks game, and you had to watch Baker Mayfield win right after you saw your team lose. Is that karma, or does that just suck? What say you guys?
So it's like, I'll tie this in with your question that you just asked. It's like, when is it okay to change allegiance? When that happens is when it's okay to change allegiance. When you just watched your team win, and then the very next moment on your TV is someone that your team did wrong, having
Drafted number
success
1
elsewhere.
overall.
Yep, having success elsewhere and having the time of his life, and openly saying that he's glad he's out of Cleveland.
Guys,
I
this
think
is-
that is when it's appropriate time to
Yeah,
switch allegiance.
I'm so over it.
Can't
But
do it.
Listen, that's all I've got this week for Fourth and Long. There were a lot of things we haven't had time to talk about. I do think the Patriots, I thought Drake May looked pretty good.
He did look pretty good.
Even though you didn't get the W, he looked pretty good. There was a lot of good
Well, to
things
go
see.
into our first game, we can make it our first game of week 2. The Patriots and the
guys-
Dolphins do play.
Well, Patriots, okay, you guys are going to win that game.
I seriously don't know. We really didn't look all that. Our defense was very shaky.
Is Christian Gonzalez
if he doesn't play, then I mean that really frees up your guys.
Well, Mike McDaniel's on the hot seat.
Yes,
he's got to know that everybody's figured out Mike McDaniel, his play calling. Everybody knows exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah,
he has to start winning.
Well, they've had the same
personnel
this is his last there season. Forever. There's only so many things that Tua can do, and they alluded to it in. I think Xavier Howard is on the Colts now, and they said in the Week 1 game that their goal was to take away Tua's first read, and then he goes into panic mode after.
Did you see the breakdown, though, of some of the plays? Like, he missed so many open guys. There were literally times where you talk about Justin Fields not being able to come off the first read.
Tua.
When you watch Tua, there were 2 guys underneath the whole time. He never saw those guys. He threw into triple coverage, threw those interceptions. He looked like hot garbage. So he better have had a concussion.
That's a $50 million quarterback.
Because at the end of this season, they can let him go, and it's not huge of a hit like it is. They can let him go. They're going to let McDaniel go. They can let Greer go, get his ass out of there, and it's time to clean house.
So then the question remains, like, what happens with let's make this kind of like a mini Dolphins thing. It's like, where Dolphins quarterback after that? It's like, because Archie's not coming out. Not that you even want Archie, like how he's performing
so
right
might
now.
as well give him a chance.
Shedeur Sanders, baby. Bring him down.
One of the Browns rookies. And then the situation in Cleveland is still
Ewers are going to be starting by week 6. Ewers
it's
going
to be really weird, and I think the Dolphins are probably cleaning house. They're one of the teams that's headed towards the end of that era.
There's even people saying the owner needs to sell the team because he cares about one thing, money, and he doesn't. He just likes to make money. He doesn't give two shits whether they win.
They play. It doesn't surprise me.
Miami. Yeah,
I'm over it. I'm over it. You guys.
Go on to wrap up that game though. I think Drake May. He almost had 300 passing yards. Yeah. So in an NFL game, that's
297.
That's nothing to bat an eye at. So I think it looked good. I don't think Matt Collins needs to get off the field, and Travion Henderson needs to play more. Those are my 2 takeaways. Yeah. Our defense is still not very good, especially without Christian Gonzalez. So this could be a good game for the Dolphins receivers because at the end of the day, they do still have a lot of talent for the Dolphins receivers. We're not picking this game. Obviously, I'm gonna hope that the Patriots win, especially against your team. I don't know about this game. I really don't. You guys are a shit show. Our defense is a shit show. We've got a lot of injuries. We've got guys playing that I don't think should be playing. So who knows? Yeah. First game though, I'm really excited about this game.
I think this is the game of the week.
This is going to. It's a shame that it's coming on an early week because I hope we get the full. Just skill set of these 2 teams.
I think you can't on a Thursday night.
That's what I keep on thinking about. But the Commanders Packers. Yeah. Obviously you got the Jaden Daniels. Obviously, the Commanders of what they did last year. That's the big story. But for me though, I am really intrigued to see if that Packers defense and team is as good as they showed they were against the Lions.
This is a really good offense in Washington, and so I think I'm going to watch this entire game. Yeah. It'll be tomorrow. It'll be later today when obviously when the video gets posted. But there's a lot of different things I'm paying attention to in this game. Obviously, the Commanders' running game, Bill, because I have him in quite a few fantasy leagues. I want to see if he ends up being the guy.
Eckler's, I believe, hurt too.
Oh, is he really?
I think
and
so.
Then
he's
got
on the injury report.
Debo, and then Terry. Terry did not have a very strong game.
Well, we kind of guessed that was going to happen with the holdout and everything.
That, and then the Giants have a great defense. But like I just said earlier, the Packers' weakness. The one weakness in that defense now is the secondary. It's not the safeties. It's just, the corners. They've got 2 good safeties. But I think McLaurin and Debo are going to have to come out and play very hard. And I think the Commanders' defense looked good last week, but it was against Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. They've got an old team, but at the same time, there's a lot of young pieces in very important positions.
They've done a very good job of mixing.
Yes. Yeah. So, I'm very excited for the game, and, we're picking it in just a second, but not yet.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Patriots Dolphins because, next one, we got to talk about the Bears Lions.
Yeah, Bears Lions.
I'm going to go. The Bears are going to get this game. I think they both come off a loss.
Need it.
I think the Bears are going to go into Detroit and they're going to steal.
Well, they'll be a little fired up because it's their coaches' old team. So
they'll be a little bit mad about how the way that ended.
We'll have some defensive guys back, if not all of them. I do think Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, and TJ Edwards are all going to play. those are 3 best players on defense.
And the injuries are going to take their toll on the Lions week after week. And I think the Bears.
When I saw Aiden Hutchinson really didn't have, I think he had like 1 tackle the whole game. And that was to be, he's coming off of that horrific. That's coming off. So it will take him some time.
Ankle injury, whatever.
I'm still a fan of the Lions. And I think they have some great talent on that team. It's just we are seeing the growing pains of losing.
Well, it's the interior O-line. It's like the Bears, the Vikings have. Darisaw was out, but the Vikings interior O-line in general, outside of the left tackle who was missing, is great. And the Bears created pressure. They sacked JJ like 3 times, and there were countless more pressures.
They did.
So if you can do that to Goff with what the Lions or the Packers were able to do, the exact same thing. And it's the Bears have a much better secondary than the Packers. That's not just me being biased. It's true.
I agree.
So I'm going to I will be tuning in for a little bit. We'll be driving home from a bachelor trip. But go Bears. Hopefully they win. We need it. Cannot start 0-2 in the division.
Especially in the division.
Oh, God. Yeah, no.
Next one. Super Bowl rematch. We kind of alluded to this a couple months ago.
Jalen Carter's not suspended. Did you see that?
I was very surprised about.
They viewed
that game, the first game, as because there was no snaps. Didn't play a snap.
It is a suspension.
So kudos to you, NFL.
Good on you.
Totally, when I saw this, I was like, you've got to be kidding.
Oh, you want to know why, right? Because if the Eagles were playing the Bills, he would have been suspended.
Well,
because Josh Allen is the new cash cow for the NFL.
Know. I still think Mahomes is up. But anyway.
I think the Eagles are going to get the dub.
Super Bowl rematch in Kansas City.
I
think the Eagles, so I will say the Eagles are extremely boring to watch on offense.
I'm surprised this isn't a primetime game.
I am
because you have, think about it, you've got 2 Monday night games this week. You've got Chargers and Raiders, and then you have Bucks and Texans.
Yeah.
Before, obviously, the Bucks Texans probably, not in hindsight, but earlier this year, great matchup. But I think Chargers Raiders really over the Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah, the Super Bowl
rematch. It in the 4:00 game.
We are picking this game. That will come in our next little. We'll run through those.
No, not that one because it's not a prime time.
Oh,
that's my
right.
point. It should be.
You're right. Well, I'm going to say the Eagles win this.
I think so too.
The Eagles are very boring on offense. I know the whole AJ Brown. Everyone overreacted to that. They're very boring on offense, but they're very effective on offense.
They are.
Their defense, I still think, is good, although they did lose some pieces in the secondary. You kind of saw that. Their D-line is still easily top 2 D-line in the league, especially with Carter now that he's playing. And we saw that with the Chiefs to where, I seriously don't think that their team is as different as it was last year. So we could see a very similar game plan from the Eagles going in, to the Chiefs to just run the hell out of the ball.
You're not
let Jalen Hurts not make mistakes. Yes. This game's going to be great. It's in the 4:00 window, so I will probably just be watching this one. I'm going to take the Eagles, though. I like the Eagles. I just don't think the Chiefs really improved that much from last year to this year, and especially, from what their team was with Worthy out, with kind of... I don't know. I just don't trust him yet. I know Mahomes is there, and he's still going to keep him close because that's what he's good at. But I'm going to say that the Eagles win this one.
Did you guys hear the funny story, too, about, Kelsey takes out Worthy, right? Remember that? But remember last year? So Rasheed got taken out by Mahomes.
Yeah.
So literally Kelsey and Mahomes took out their 2 best players that they needed over the last 2 seasons. I mean, I don't know what happened to Kelsey on that play. I don't know but he nailed him.
Someone messed up.
Somebody screwed up.
They were too close to each other.
Taylor Swift was not at the game, so it wasn't like he was running his route and waving at his girl and then boom, they hit each other. That didn't happen. But if she would have been there, we could have blamed it on her.
Could have.
We'll save the Sunday night game for the pick'em. We'll talk about that. So let's go straight into the pick'ems. Commanders, Packers, kind of already touched on it. I'm going to go with the Packers at home in Lambeau. I like their defense. I like their offense. I think it's going to be a great game. Like you said, it probably might turn out to be the game of the week. Hopefully, with it being a short week, I hope that doesn't play into a factor and kind of, not give us what these 2 teams I think are capable of. Mm-hmm. But I like the Packers in this one at home at Lambeau.
Give me the Commanders. Taking them.
I got the Pack.
You need the Packers to lose.
I do. I need the Packers to lose, but I do think the Commanders are going to have a very good scheme around Micah Parsons. They did last year. He was a non-factor in their games, and we'll see. It's gonna. I mean, we get it tomorrow. I think the Commanders are going to be very similar to last year. They're very good and winning games in any possible way they can. It's very frustrating to watch considering we didn't draft Jaden Daniels, but our season isn't over yet either.
No, long season. Falcons Vikings is the Sunday night game this week.
It's a weird one.
This is a very weird one. I think both these quarterbacks really showed that they can lead a team and be effective, especially in the fourth quarter. What we saw with Penix, what we saw with JJ. I think I'm going to go with the Vikings, though, because I think the Falcons are dealing with a little too many injuries, especially on the O-line with the defense the Viking has. I think they're going to be able to really get after Penix, cause him to make decisions quick or force some turnovers. And if JJ can kind of keep on doing what he did in the fourth quarter against the Bears at home, I also think, though, that the secondary for the Falcons is banged up. There's a lot of new guys that are having to play more. I'm going to go with the Vikings in this one at home.
Yep, me too. I think the Vikings, 14-win team last year. I think people forgot. It's just for some reason.
Yeah.
But, I think JJ looked good, and the Falcons have a much worse defense than the Bears do. So you're actually going to see some offense out of the Vikings before the fourth quarter, is my prediction.
I'm going to go with the Vikings, but for a different reason. The Falcons just have this propensity during big games where they're highlighted, Sunday Night Football,
to lose,
where they do stupid things. So
the Bears too.
I don't know. I think history says that they're going to screw up. And I think the Vikings, though, are the better team right now anyway. So they'll win, but it'll be curious. Hopefully there's not another doink on Thursday, on Sunday
I'd like
night.
a big Justin Jefferson game. I've got him in fantasy. It'd be nice. And I have Drake London. And on the same league. I've got Jefferson and London in our keeper league. So that game I'm going to be watching very close, both sides of the ball.
Yeah. Next one. This is there's double header on Monday night. Buccaneers, Texans. I'm going with the Buccaneers. I think the Texans is another team that they look the same as last year. CJ Stroud's running for his life.
Yep.
Having to make decisions really fast.
Sucks.
They've got a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
I don't trust them. I like the Buccaneers because of kind of what they did. Their defense is kind of back with some of their safeties being back from injury. Their offense, their two running backs are great. Baker looked great. Ibuka looked great. Mike Evans didn't have a big game, but he's still there, and he's going to be Mike Evans. So I do like the Buccaneers for the first.
I like the Bucks too. Texans are just dealing with a lot of injuries already. Stingley got banged up. He came back into the game, but anytime your number one corner gets hurt, you don't have to ask me because it just happened to us. But I think the Bucks. I think Ibuka's probably gonna have a big game again. I think Bucky Irving might actually have a big game too. He had a good
game last week too.
He scored?
Yeah.
But I think
this Buccaneers offense first down Bucks.
Next Monday night game, the doubleheader, Chargers-Raiders. Chargers, I think this one is pretty easy. The Raiders looked decent against the Patriots, but they were the Patriots. I like Justin Herbert. The offense looked great. Keenan Allen looked great. He had almost
he had 70 yards.
Yeah, almost 100 yards. Their defense looked good too with some of the older pieces, Derwin James, Khalil Mack, and they have a lot of young guys mixed in there, kind of similar to what the Commanders has built. Their running backs are great. I think Hampton, he looked pretty good for his first game. So I do like the Chargers in this one over the Raiders.
Yep, same here. Give me the Chargers. And I have, Hampton in fantasy. I need him to be good. Need him to be good. But on to college.
Last two, yes. We noticed we're picking the two college, the big noon kickoff and the college game day. Northwestern versus Oregon is the big noon. This is stupid. I don't even want to go. Oregon's going to win.
Yep. Oh, they're going to kill them.
Oregon's probably going to win by like 40.
Yeah, whatever. This one, college game day.
This is early. UGA, Tennessee.
It is.
Yeah.
Early.
Wow. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the home team.
I am too.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Oh wow.
I just think Stockton has looked okay. I just don't think he's looked great to go into. I think a Tennessee team, and I know they haven't played really anyone either, but they are humming and they are scoring points. Their defense is very good. I know Georgia's always going to be good. They're always going to be competitive in these games just because of their coach and because of just the lore and mentality that Georgia has. Mm-hmm. But I do like Tennessee in this one. I think they're just going to be able to score too many points for Gunner to really keep up.
Yeah. This is hard. Being a Georgia fan, I don't want to pick against Georgia. But like you said, they didn't look great against Austin Peay University. They haven't looked great, really. I mean, they've been able to move the ball, but they've played 2 cupcake teams. And see, this is what makes it so difficult, is that college, like, you can look great until you play real competition. Yeah. And so, I'm going to go Georgia. Against my better judgment, I'm going Georgia.
And I mean, for like you just said, it's still just so unknown, especially in college football, is Tennessee could come out, lay an egg, and Georgia could look like the best team in the country. That's just that's just how college football works.
I think Tennessee's going to have to buy a new goalpost after this game. So I'm going Tennessee.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Hell yeah.
Player props for the week between me and we actually did really, really good as a whole team, I-75 team. I think we went 6-2.
We did.
We went 6, and you missed by like literally a yard.
Thanks,
and then
Russell
Jamar
Wilson.
Chase didn't score a touchdown. That was Jack's. Yeah. But as a whole, we did pretty good. So hopefully we can keep that trend going. This week I've got Jamar Chase over 86.5. They played Jacksonville.
Travis Hunter.
He didn't have a very good game last week. I know Cleveland has some pretty good corners with Newsome,
they've got a good defense in general.
Who's the other guy?
Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward's the other one.
Good D-line.
Yeah, so I expect Jamar Chase to kind of be like, hey, like, let me be Jamar Chase. Yep. He'll probably get 2 50-plus touchdown passes like he does.
I'm happy with that.
I like Jamar Chase over 86.5.
Yep. And I actually picked the same game, but on the other side, I didn't
even realize that.
Yeah. Travis Etienne, 55. After the game he had, I guess they're taking into account that he did have 70 of his rushing yards on one attempt, but his line for rushing yards this week against the Bengals, who have a better defense, they played pretty well against the Browns, but 55.5 rushing yards. And so, yeah, give me Etienne. I cannot have the same woes of last year that I did with player props. I'm not going to, no.
Yeah, you started off really bad last year.
I can't do it again. And Malik Neighbors missing by a few yards is not a great start. Yeah. Etienne, I swear to God, if you finish with like 50 yards, I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to be very upset. So, yeah, give me Etienne. I think the Bengals upgraded on defense, but it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think they're going to be playing catch-up a lot. Hold on.
So to add on to our player props, we are going to start doing a KUTT bet of the week. And don't forget, KUTT, it is a social betting platform. Use code I75Live when you sign up or when you deposit. That helps us out, helps you out. But our KUTT bet of the week is going to be Bears money line plus 240 against the Lions. So if you want to go against us, you think, again, we're crazy.
Do you think the Lions are going to win?
In the homecoming of Ben Johnson, you feel free to challenge us on that. But our KUTT bet of the week is going to be Bears money line against the Lions.
Sure.
Again, use code I75Live at sign up or when you deposit.
Yep.
That's going to wrap it up. I think it was a great first week of NFL football. There were a lot of great games.
It was. You know how last year it was kind of like we talked for the first few weeks. It was like defense is back. Where are all the touchdowns? We mentioned that last week.
Going into
we have touchdowns.
There were I would
touchdowns
love
and defense.
I would love to see the total the numbers on it because I know we brought it up last week of how the numbers were very really low. I would love to see where this first week compared to the last couple first weeks. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I'll try to find it.
But we were at Dawson's house watching Sunday Ticket, and all these games are going, and I remember looking at him. It was around the middle of the second quarters, and I'm like, holy crap, look at these points. Like, this is not what's happened the last couple of years.
Yeah. It was great.
Well, anyway, that will wrap up episode 55. Let you know... Yes, episode 55. Let us know what you think going into week 2, which teams surprised you, which teams looked good. Don't forget, if you want to challenge us on that Bears money line, use KUTT Bets I75Live at sign up. And we will see you guys next time. Enjoy week 2 NFL and some big college games.
Sir, it's been real, guys.